One person. Alrighty, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm trying to pull up my worksheet. All right, when I saw you last, we were working on monohybrid crosses. I only had one person to turn it in. Okay. And it's doing this weird thing again where they got y'all in the waiting room, but I let everybody in. All right. All right, so like I said, only one person has turned this in, so I'm going to pull this up again. I'll go through the ones that I've already done. And so your worksheet should look like this. And again, to remind you that because the Punnett square boxes are not on the worksheet, I added these on the rest of the worksheet. But in case you forgot how to do that, I'm just going to put one over here. Actually, let me put one at the bottom so it doesn't interfere with the rest of the page. All right, so again, in order to make a square, you're going to go to Insert, you're going to go to Table. You want 3 rows and you want 3 columns, and it'll do that. And then because we don't want it so big, you can do that first to make it bigger as far as that's concerned, but we don't need it that big. So you can make it smaller by doing that. Oops, it just didn't move the whole row. That's weird. There we go. Why is it doing that? It's Friday. It's doing what it wants to do. Oh my goodness. Picky, picky, picky. All right, can we move the whole row, please? There we go. All right, so that's how you make the box. So you want to add a Punnett square box. All right, Andre, let me see if that needs to open before you try to do that. All right, so that's how you make the box, and you want to do that box for every, excuse me, every one that's up there. Okay, just doing that in and out thing. All right, I think everybody's back. All right, so let's start up here at the top again and let me go through. So these are the 5 questions that you are answering in each case. And again, for genetics, we have word problems. So you want to analyze what is being told to you, and then you have to write it out. So I'm going to go through the first 3 again with everybody, and then I'll give you the chance to get those other ones submitted. All right, so it's telling you in pea plants, tall is dominant. That's why, and you know it's dominant because it's a capital T, and short is recessive. And we know it's recessive because there's a lowercase t. Tall, dominant means that is the trait that is expressed. That's the recessive means they are carrying that trait, but it is not expressed. All right, so when we say that this is a genotype, what genes do you actually have? You have 2 genes for every trait. Okay, you have it. And in this case, they are crossing or a heterozygous tall plant. Heterozygous means that the two genes are not the same. So that means one is tall and one is short. That's heterozygous tall with a short plant. So the other plant has two small t's because in order to be short, if short is recessive, you've got to have both lowercase letters. The only way you're going to know that you're short is if you have uh, both genes for shortness. Otherwise, it will be covered up. All right, then the gametes. The gametes are represented by the boxes at the top and on the side. So you didn't have to really write anything in there. We're going to just know that these are the gametes at the top, and during reproduction, this gamete is going to come with this gamete over here, and fertilized egg will look like big T, little t. This one combines with this one will create two little t's. This one combined with, this one over here combined with the one on the side gives you a big T, little t. The one at the top with the one on the side will give you little t, little t. And those are the four Punnett. So we look at this as the possibilities. Punnett squares represent the possibilities. If these two parents are going to have children, it's possible that that's what the offspring will look like. Okay. And again, those are possibilities. They may all randomly look like the first kind. They might all randomly look like the last one. But these are the four possibilities. The box, because there are four boxes and there are always four eggs and four sperms produced with every meiosis, the box represents 100%. So when we look at ratios, the questions will ask you, what is the percent possibility that you will get this type of offspring? What is the percent possibility that you'll get the other type? So we're looking at genotypic ratios. So genotype means we're describing what genes you have. So the genotypically, we have two that are heterozygous tall, and we have two that are homozygous short. Homozygous means they're both the same letter, right? The ratio is 2 to 2. Phenotype is what are they going to look like? Phenotype, two of them are going to be tall. We're not looking about homozygous, heterozygous. When we look at them, they will be tall. So two of them are tall and two are short. Okay, so again, phenotype is what do you see when you look at them? Genotype is if we get on the genes, what kind of genes do they have? All right, that was number one. Number two is over here. All right, in a guinea pig, and the questions always tell you what is dominant and what is recessive, unless they give you a box and they want to go in reverse and they say, based on what we have, tell me what is the dominant trait. But most of the time, they will tell you what is dominant and what is recessive. The letter that you use always goes with the dominant trait. So in other words, we have black fur and white fur. We're not going to have a B and a W. Over here, we didn't have a T and an S. You go with the letter that is dominant. So black is dominant, black fur is dominant. We're using B. And capital B is dominant for black fur. Lowercase b is for white fur. Okay, they gave you that information. Then they tell you we're crossing two heterozygous black guinea pigs. Okay, so both the mother and the father are black guinea pigs, but they are heterozygous for that trait, which means they don't have two of the same alleles. They have a big B and a little b. So both of them look like that. So that is the parent genotype. Then to show the gametes, we put those on the chart. So we put one parent on the top, one on the side, and then we put those results in the boxes. So big B and big B, because this is a big B, goes in that box. Little b, did I not do that correctly? I did not. Hold on. Yes, I did that right. Okay, so this is a capital B over here, small b over here, that goes in that box. There's a capital B there, small b there, that goes in this box. Small b goes in that box. All right, and then we have to read this. So when we read this, one box has a big B, big B. That's homozygous, because they're the same. Homozygous black. These two are the same. So there's two of them that are heterozygous black. And then with this last box is homozygous white. Okay, so from the 2 guinea pigs that looked black, we were able to get one possibility that they will have white fur. The only way they can have white fur because it's recessive is if they were carrying that gene for white in the first place. All right, so that's a description of what the boxes say. You have to give me all this information. That's part of the grade. So if you're not giving me all this information, you're missing something. All right, genotype. So we have, take these numbers on the side, 1 to 2 to 1. Genotype ratio is 1 to 2 to 1. Phenotype is what do they look like? These, even though they are homozygous and heterozygous, if we're just looking at them, they're black. Okay? They have black fur, so it's 3 with black fur and 1 with white fur. Okay, that's the ratio. All right. And I had left you to do this, but I went ahead and did this already. For number 3, attached earlobes are dominant. That means where your earlobe just goes straight into your cheek. And then free earlobes, which means you got that little dangly piece like what I have, that is recessive. So that's represented. So capital A for attached and lowercase a for free. And they're telling you we're crossing a homozygous dominant individual. Dominant is capital A, because they're homozygous. They're the same. With an individual that is heterozygous, that means they have 2 different letters, a capital A, small a. So then we take that information and we put that on our Punnett square. We separate those 2 alleles for each parent, and then we, during fertilization, we have a big A for that box. We take those 2, we have big A there. And then for this row, we have capital A, lowercase a. All right. So again, and mine is switched over to this side. Hopefully yours is all on one page. Our genome, so let me write this over here. I can get that to do. So we have 2 of them with capital A's. So they are homozygous. And I'm going to do this one for you, and then I'm going to leave it because you all should be finished with homozygous attached earlobe. Okay. And then we have 2 on the bottom that have that are heterozygous. All right, heterozygous attached. Okay, because the dominant letter is, okay, so you need to write that out first, and then you can look at what are the ratios. Okay, so that's all. And again, it has to add up to 4. It has to add up to 100%. Each of those represents 25% possibility. All right, so over here, the ratio is, again, 2 to 2. And over here, what do they look like? Everybody is, this is going to be 100%, 100% attached earlobes because nobody is showing the recessive, whoops, attached. Okay? Because all of these, even though it's heterozygous, we're not going to see anybody with earlobes that have hanging earlobes. Okay, there's 2 homozygous, 2 heterozygous, but that's 100%. Everybody's going to have attached earlobes. Yes. Okay. All right, so do finish up the rest of them just like that. Again, next to the box, write out what it means and then do the ratios on the lines. You can make the boxes bigger by stretching them out. Oops, mine continued on the next line. For some strange reason, I made it too big. There we go. All right. So these are due by the end of class, folks. They should have been done already. End of class. I got one person who's already done. If you're already done, please look at, I'm going to have to stop sharing to change pages. You should be in Canvas and the module that we're looking at. Mm. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so this is where we are in Canvas. All right, if you are finished with the worksheet, make sure you come back and do the Punnett Square challenge. And again, if you need a refresher, this box walks you through, it's animated, it walks you through how to do a Punnett Square. And then go ahead and do the Punnett Square challenge. And I apologize, there's a lot of noise in my house today. All right, trying to keep an eye out for when folks are being kicked out, because all of you are here. I know all of you are here, but every once in a while it drops somebody. So I'm trying to make sure I keep an eye out, so I'll let you back in. All right, so I'm leaving those up so that you have an example for each. I'm gonna pull this up a little bit. I think if I, no, that's not showing. All right, so the answer, let me see if I make these boxes smaller. Hold on, I might be able to get, if I drag this over here and delete that space maybe. No, it won't delete this space. Okay. I'm trying to get this space so that all the answers are on the same page, and it won't delete the space. All right, well, the last answer is over there. Let's see if I can. I'll keep trying. There we go. All right. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, so all three answers are now visible. as examples of what you need to do. So on the genotype, you need to represent it just like this, that you are crossing. That's what the little X in the middle. You are crossing one parent with the other parent. And so you should write it like that. All right. So you just have to do um, the other 5. All right. Again, if you have any questions, please ask. All right, and also make sure that the other worksheet is late now, so make sure that you've gotten that one done. If you have a question about one of those, please ask as well. All right, so I'm gonna leave that up for another 2 minutes, and then I need to stop sharing so I can do attendance. Alrighty. Okay. Let's see, what is this one? Um, What's this one? All right, again, your objective is to get your worksheets turned in today, 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 today. These don't take very long, so if you're focusing, these need to be turned in today, otherwise they're late. We're trying to avoid these late assignments. Almost everybody had the other one turned in, Mendelian genetics, so that's good. Only two of you still have that to turn in. So let's make sure that we are focused and getting our work turned in. Class time for classwork. Okay, let me look. All righty, let me. Yeah, Raymond, I looked at your sheet. Did you correct that?
I did.
Okay.
I resubmitted it.
Okay, good. All right. Yes, folks, it is lunchtime. You all have a great lunch and a great weekend. Get those worksheets turned in. Bye-bye. See you next week.